everyone, and welcome to another art lesson with me, Mr. Richardson. This activity is aimed for my grade 4 students. It's going to be a drawing activity. I'm going to be focusing on one of our art elements today, and that is the element of texture. So texture is all about how something feels or how something looks like it would feel on the page, particularly if it's like a 2D picture, like a painting or a drawing. So simple equipment today, you'll need a piece of paper, a grey lead pencil, and something to colour with. Now, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be coloured pencils, it can be textures, it can be oil pastels or paint. Any of those things that you might have available at home. So grab your stuff and let's get started. Okay, so with your piece of paper, you need to have it portrait. So portrait is up and down. The other way is landscape, where it goes crossways. So because we're doing an animal, a creature, we're going to be doing it up and down. With your pencil, hold it lightly in your hand. You don't want to be pressing it hard like you're writing normally in your classroom. So hold it light and kind of sideways. We're going to be sketching. You're going to start off with the main feature, which is the eyes. So light pencil strokes. And the eyes are almond shape. So it's kind of like brackets sitting on top of each other. Now the pupils are the black parts, and they are a little bit different to a human's pupils. Human pupils are black and round, whereas the cat ones tend to be sort of thinner. Again, a bit like the eye shape. So they sit in the middle and very point down the bottom there. So it's skinny, but it doesn't get completely pointy. You shouldn't see the top and the bottom of the pupils. So the top and bottom of the eyes will kind of cut that off. And then you want to start with the nose. So there's the bridge of the nose. And then the actual nose, so it goes around, then down, and then back up. So it's a bit like a capital T shape, like a flat capital T shape in the center of the nose there. And then the mouth starts from the bottom of the nose and just curves around like that. And then you can just lightly sketch in some pointy ear shapes at the top there. And then see how a lot of my cat picture is filling up the page. And then just a little bit of the body shape. So I've got the basics. I'll make that mouth a little bit bigger. You can put it, if you want to, you can do a cheeky cat. Have a tongue there if you want to. And then of course, some light whiskers. So very, very lightly. I might make the ears a little bit bigger, make them stand out. So that's the best part about art, is that you can just modify your drawing as you go along. Notice that I haven't really rubbed anything out. Probably the only thing I want to rub out is just that mouth part there, where I changed it. So it comes down towards the bottom. So I can always change that if I want. Just that bit will come into there. Looking better. Okay. So the best part about drawing lightly is it's so easy to rub out. You don't want to press hard. Light, sketchy lines that don't have to look perfect. So there's the basic part of my cat. Now, with the texture is all about, as I mentioned before, all about how something looks on a page. So, for example, the paper's smooth, rocks are bumpy, the cactus is spiky, the carpet might be kind of fluffy or bumpy. So With a cat, obviously it is fluffy and it's all due to the hair. So I'm going to be using your pencil to create some fur texture. So notice that I've got the repeated lines there just over and over and over again. And then start underneath and continue the process. Until you finish that bottom part. Okay, continuing those repeated lines. And then you're going to be doing the same thing with the cat's face too. So how close together you do the lines determines how dark your cat is going to be. You can kind of go over top and do lines that sort of crisscross over each other too if you want to. So you're going to continue to fill with the cat's face as well. Don't worry about if you go over the whiskers and that because we're going to deal with that later. So get on with adding all your texture on the cat's face and the body, and then I'll see you in a moment for the rest of it. Okay, so I've got all my repeated lines on the cat's body, on the cat's face. So one tip I'll give you is with the face, I started from the inside where the eyes are and went around and then repeated and went around until it got bigger and bigger. So I did once around the eyes, once around these eyes, and then followed the repeated lines again around until eventually I got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and got to that edge, and then I did all the fluffy lines there. Now, the difference between the lines, if you do longer lines, you're gonna get a lighter effect. If you do shorter, closer lines, then you're going to get a darker shaded effect with your cat. So I've done around the ears, I've done the darker, shorter, close together lines for the ears to outline those details, and then fluffier, longer lines on the outside of the ears there. I've done around the nose, around the mouth, here. Okay, so the next part is that you're going to add some colour to the cat's eyes. And it depends what sort of cat it is. Mostly they're kind of like a sort of caramelly yellowy colour. They sometimes can be green. Depends, some cats even have blue eyes. I'm just going to start with these colours. Now, the centre pupil, of course, is going to be black. And again, you can use oil pastel, you can use colour pencil, you can use texture. You can even use paints if you really prefer. I like using oil pastel because I can blend. Now, another tip I'll give you is with the oil pastels, because they're sort of oily and creamy, to blend them, I've got just a cotton tip. You can use your finger too if you want, but for small parts like this, a cotton bud is really good because you can get into the small sections and blend it to smooth it out. And reapply if you want to make the colour a little bit more intense. And then with the cat's outside of the eyes, I'm going to start with a darker colour. Go around the outside. All the way around. Nice thick line. So the harder you press, the more vibrant it's going to be. And then I'm going to add my lighter colour on the inside. So the yellow. Try not to go on the black. Might even be a good idea to do the black after the colour. mind. And then using the clean end, the cotton tip or even your finger, you can blend and smudge those colours so it doesn't look quite as harsh with the edge of the two coloured lines. So you kind of blur the two together. And you can do the same with the nose. And if you've got a tongue, you do the tongue too. So you can leave it like that if you really want to, or you can even go further and add some real depth to your cat fur, the fur of your cat's texture, using a black pencil or a black pen, black texture, oil pastel if you really want to, and you can just continue to add those lines all the way around. So you've got the grey lead and your texture or whatever else you've got to then add even more depth to your picture. Have a bit of a play around with it, with the colours. Remember, it's a black cat, so you can use blacks, greys as well. It doesn't have to be completely coloured in, but I really want to see the line work that you have created for your cat's fur. So here is my finished black cat textured picture. Now, I used a thick fine liner for mine. You can use whatever you want. You can use textures, you can use pencils, whatever you've got on hand, so long as you create a black cat and it has got all of the lined texture on it to look like fur. Have a play around, see what you can achieve with the materials that you've got at home. But the main thing is, enjoy this activity, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.